Hello everybody, how are we all doing today? Hope you're all having a fantastic day. So today we're going over string functions. Now, there's a lot of them, and there's no way I would go through all of them with you guys here in this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a few. I'm going to show you the basics of strings, and then I'm going to kind of just go in generalities to kind of get you guys set for the other functions that you guys can learn and practice on your own, okay? So strings. If I said I strung together a few pop bottles together, okay? You would imagine, individual pop bottles on a string attached to each other, okay? Now, on that string of attached pop bottles, imagine me writing 0 on the farthest to the left, or the first one, you could say in English, 0 on the first pop bottle, 1 on the second one, and if I had 5 pop bottles, it would go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 0 through 4 makes 5 total. Strings, as we know in C++, is like a word or many words, and they can have spaces in them. It's okay. And any type of special characters, that's fine. So if we made a string variable, let's just call it string variable. Keep it nice and pronounced. And we set it equal to hello world. Okay? This H is a character, right? If you guys remember characters, chars, it just is one letter, right? This is one char, E is one char, the L is one char, the other L is another char, and so on and so forth. So instead of a string of pop bottles, we have a string of individual char variables. Does that make sense? We have individual char variables strung together to make a word or words or a sentence, right? So if we can access each individual element or char character of the string variable by using this syntax. I misspelled string here. String variable bracket and then the index. Okay. Remember how I said with the pop bottles we put a 0 on the first one? And then we did 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So if I did, let's say, 8, H is 0, E is 1, L is 2, L is 3, O is 4, space is 5, W is 6, O is 7, R is 8. So if we did cout this, what are we going to get? Let's run it. And we got an R. That's because it's the 8th index of the string variable. It's the 8th char. So hopefully that makes sense. So now we know that a string is just a group of chars, and we can access it using this syntax by knowing its index. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's see. Let's just go ahead and use a couple functions now. Let's start with maybe an easier one. Let's just start with length. Okay, there's size and there's length, but they do pretty much the same thing. They return the length of the string. So I'll give you guys a second, and I want you guys to tell me how long is the string? How many characters? You guys get it? Let's find out. 11. So we said R was 8, 9 is L. Wait, did I do? No, it was the 8th index, right, was R. So the 9th index is L, 10 index is D. So it starts at 0, 0 through 10, that's 11 characters. So when we ran it, we got 11. So how string variables works is you write your string variable, then use the dot operator, and then the function name. Now, I'm just going to allude this to objects and functions, okay? Strings in C++ are objects, and objects have functions that you can do on the object. So what are we finding the length of? We're finding the length of the string variable. Okay, I'm not going to go into too depth, but you'll see when we get into classes and objects how this actually works when we make our own classes and objects. Okay, so let's go ahead and try another one. Let's go ahead and do endline and just keep this up. Let's do let's use the front. So we can do string variable dot front. And what this does is it accesses the first character. Now it doesn't change anything like this. It just accesses it, right? But what we can do is we can set that first letter to something else by assigning it to another char, right? Because we said these were all groups. This was just a string of chars. 1 char, 2 char, 3 char, 4 char, 5. So if this is almost saying string variable 0. It's the exact same thing, this as this. And at this point, what we can do is just set it to, let's say, lowercase h. Okay? And then here, let's go ahead and reset it back to a capital H. And what we can do is just cout string variable. Let's do another end line. Now let's go ahead and copy and paste this, and let's see what happens. So what happened here, we had the string length, then we changed the h to a lowercase value, and then we changed the first letter to an uppercase h, and we printed it out. So that's how front and just using the normal accessor by using the square brackets works. Let's go ahead and use one more. Okay, I don't want to keep this video from going on too long. It's about 8 minutes so far. So let's use the replace, I suppose. Should we do a replace or should we do insert? Let's just use insert for now. So to use insert, actually before I do that, let me show you guys something. String variable. Once I did string variable, you can see here that it's giving me the string variable. When I hit dot, it shows all of the functions. These purple things, those are all functions we can use. There's a lot of them. So this time we're going to be using the insert, I said. Yes? Insert. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Okay, so it even tells us that it wants the size, and I mean, this is kind of hard to read, but we're just going to use the insert. But it does tell us, oops, what we're inserting. I mean, you can click through it. These are all possible ways we can add the function with parameters. So let's start with a string of, we got hello world. Let's erase some of this. And it's saying an underline because it says we don't have enough parameters in here. And you can have 2 or 3 parameters. So let's have a string variable hello world, and then we'll make another string variable called second string. That equals Baba black sheep. So now how this works is it takes in a number, and then it looks at what you want to insert at that index, okay? So it takes in an index, and then from that index, it's going to fill in with whatever you put as a second parameter, and then continue on with the variable. So let's say at, let's see, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's go at 5. At index 5, which is right after hello, we're going to put second string to work. So what this is going to do is at 5, we should get hello, Baba Black Sheep, world. Let's go ahead and run it. I didn't see out anything, so that wouldn't work. See out. Actually, let's just do this. I put an S. And string. Good. Hello, Baba, Black Sheep, world. So it went hello, hit the 5th index, put in the second string there, inserted that into here at Baba Black Sheep, and then we hit the space and then the world. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. On the 5th one, we start the second string, what we're inserting, and then finally finish off the original variable. Okay, so that's how strings work. In general, you can access individual parts, and we can use all those functions. And what I'm going to do is show you guys this page. This is on c++.com, great reference. If you just type in string up here, it comes to this page. And primarily, I want you guys to look at the capacity, element access, and modifiers. Those are the big ones that you'll be using a lot. And when you click on each one, if the computer ever loads, it'll show you how to use it with an example and what the syntax is. So hopefully you guys understand that. Let me know in the comments section if you guys have any other questions, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Have a great day, guys.